18th, 2025. It's been 13 days since Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 came out. Yugi sits on the bus, on his way to college, and begins posting.
Anybody want to tell me why I spent the entire morning rage-baiting myself by looking through stupid fandom posts I disagree with, like, for 30 minutes straight? Anybody? Get me out of here. If I may try to unpack it myself, I think it's a fundamental desire for connection. Like, I'm blocking routes through which I usually interact with Deltarune, and now there's a yearning for it. Once the dam breaks and I see a shitty untagged take, I can't hold myself back from digging deeper. I just want Asgore content, and nothing fucking else. I want my stupid buff old man, and I want content of him that doesn't play into the slander that was Chapter 4. If you want me to rant about how I think they wrote Asgore wrong in the new chapters, just poke my cage. Just poke the tiger. Just poke the tiger. Just poke the—
Alright, I'll poke the cage even though I still haven't seen anything about chapter 3 or 4.
Okay, on the one hand, I got what I asked for. On the other hand, I feel like you're poking the tiger with a feather and not a stick. Like, it barely counts as a poke. You're not even curious, you're just trying to help me out.
Okay, I am curious. I'm just a coward and a procrastinator, so I haven't gotten to watching a playthrough.
I'm still taking any excuse I have to vent, though. 1 out of 24, buckle up.
What the fuck?
Essentially, I think nearly everything that was revealed about Asgore in Chapter 4 goes against what we know about Asgore, fundamentally. Both from Undertale and from earlier chapters of Deltarune, there were specific characteristics established that were just thrown away in Chapter 4. Most noticeably, Asgore's a person who's dedicated to taking care of others. That's the crux of his character in Undertale and the most tragic part of his flower shop in Deltarune. His taking care of plants is an extension of his need and want to take care of other people. In Undertale, he's a good listener. His relationships with Undyne and Alphys show that the most, and he's racked with guilt over literally everything. Much more ready to completely put himself down and make himself smaller for the sake of others. This is completely missing in Deltarune Chapter 4. I wouldn't even be mad if the way he's characterized didn't go in the complete opposite direction, where he's ignorant to other people's feelings to the point of frustration. His advances towards Toriel are one thing, but his complete lack of care for Chris and their friends just feels way too out of character. In Chapter 1, it wasn't that bad because he's distant from Chris but still trying to relate to them, a little too in his own head, but he suggests they stay over, even if he realizes it isn't viable. Like, he loves his kids. Why does Chapter 4 make him out to be this absent, uncaring idiot? And then there's the denial thing. A big part of his character in both games is not being able to move on from the past, obsessed with recreating it because he's convinced it'll fix him, essentially. The key difference is, in Undertale, he was well aware that no matter how happy he'd be, it wouldn't help anyone in any meaningful way. He's really fucking jaded in the game, actually, keeping up the facade of hope for the sake of his people, but internally, genuinely, being hopeless. He's a doomed character, but in Undertale, the crux of his happy ending is getting slapped in the face with "you can't go back," and he acclimates immediately. Not just because seeing Toriel again gives him closure, even if she's moved on, because he cares about her as a person when characterized properly, but also because it's been a long time coming. He knew it was over, he was just in denial, and when the veil's lifted, he's ready to move on and be there for the people who do care for him. Like, contrast the way he backs off from Toriel immediately after she says, "I'm not gonna be your friend, you dumb fuck," in Undertale, versus how brain dead he seems to act around her in Deltarune. The denial he exhibits in Deltarune is denial of reality, which was never his problem in Undertale, where he was more aware of the reality of the situation than most other monsters in the underground. In Deltarune, he's obsessed with Dessa's case, not because of his dedication to his friends and family, which would make a lot more sense, but instead because he's convinced it'll fix his marriage, which makes no fucking sense even with rose-tinted glasses on. I'd be willing to accept his obsession with the case as in character if it actually tied into his actual character flaws as a character, but no! The entire thing about the case potentially being the catalyst for the divorce makes Toriel's feelings seem more flat and shallow and Asgore's entire plight as a character completely nonsensical. It's no longer about a well-meaning man and a hell of his own making, it's a sad thing happened and now he's crazy. His traits of listening to people, being emotionally aware, in tune with his own grief to his own detriment, trying to take care of the people around him at his own expense, and being dedicated to raising his kids are all just gone for no reason. I can't even call these changes part of the acclimation of the characters from one narrative to another. This is just out of character writing. It's not the same as Toriel being less neurotic because she's less traumatized, or Undyne being more carefree because she's not fighting a literal war anymore. It's going completely against the established traits of a character for the sake of putting him in a role he doesn't belong in. That role being whatever the fuck dumb lore shit is getting set up about the death case. I don't care if it's the most integral part of the mystery, use a different character, or use Asgore's actual established traits to make him part of this narrative. As I said, it'd make more sense if he couldn't move on from the death case if it was was tied to his dedication to the Holiday family, if it was about finding closure for them at the expense of his own sanity and well-being. It makes no sense to tie the death case to his marriage, just on any front. Even if he wants Toriel back, that should have nothing to do with what he's doing for the holidays, especially because Toriel is outwardly unhappy with his obsession with the fucking case. Like, what happened to him being able to listen to people? Being there for them? It's like he's just gone completely deaf, and again, I can't attribute that to a change in setting because his dedication to other people is so baked into his core that there's hints of it even in chapter 1. They were an undercurrent in his most basic symbolism. That was just dismissed in later chapters for no fucking reason. Haha, funny divorce, man. Isn't it epic we're mischaracterizing the protagonist's only father figure for laughs? I'd end this with I consider Spadesgore must be canonized, but chapter 4 Asgore is so out of character I can't even say that. It's just not Asgore anymore. Spadesgore can't fix this because this fundamentally isn't the Asgore that made Spadesgore work. This is a flanderized joke of a character and it makes me sad. I want my husband back, Roby. I miss him so much. Give me back my emotional wreck goat man, Toby. This dollar store out of character fan misinterpretation as clownery on Asgore as a concept is pissing me off. Oh yeah, the one guy in the underground who knew how to cater to the needs of literally everyone by being a self-esteemless doormat is now some daft motherfucker who can't even take no for an answer in any context. Great character writing, guys. Peak fiction, am I right? Anyway, I'd say sorry for the essay, but I think you knew what you were getting into. 24 out of 24. This Blue Sky thread about Asgore angst has more posts in it than I have years in my lifespan. Whoops. A little too in his own head, but he suggests they stay over. Like,